And of course I wasn't recording when that was happening, so our dear listener will completely miss out on that. Just an absolute gem of a masterpiece of a piece of music.
Oh, hey. We went away for 2 weeks and you didn't forget everything.
Oh, well, I did. I hit the record to capture that, but I forgot to press the two buttons.
Ah, yes.
Yes. So that 2 weeks did cause the complete missing of that gem of a fantastic piece of...
Well, I said you didn't forget everything.
No. And of course, we've been talking and I haven't been looking at levels.
No, that would have been helpful.
It would have been.
I'm sure, but you haven't, and this is where we are now.
Yeah, it'll do.
Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello dear listener and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son Thomas.
Hi, hello.
What, and you should have quite a bit here because we missed last week, have you been up to?
Well, in the first week I went on 3 walks, each over 4 hours in length.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the second week I didn't.
See, there was the beginnings of a cunning plan there.
Yeah.
But that plan was thwarted. Any particular reason why you did not continue with the trend?
Things came up. The reason I went on 3 walks is that nothing had come up.
Oh, okay. So I see another flaw here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking that the walk should be the thing that... Yeah, I think there's a priorities thing happening here.
Yeah, there is.
It strikes me as your walks are a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nothing's happening, so I'll go for a walk. Rather than, unless something really, really, really important is happening, I must go for a walk.
Well, unfortunately, the things that I want to be doing have visual components. So, the first walk that I went on had fish and chips.
See, okay, can I just pull you up? If the objective of said walk is to reduce...
I know.
It is a hard thing, and I'm very, very familiar with it.
It was a big piece of fish and too many chips, despite reportedly being a meal for one. So I didn't finish it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was this at?
This was... trying not to give away locations here on the air.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, to avoid advertising and to avoid who you're secretly meeting each time you go for a walk.
To avoid giving away my location. People have a general idea, but ideally not getting into specifics. Edit out this next line.
Okay.
I went to the takeaways. That's also like a supermarket.
Yeah.
But not big. So just a grocery store.
Yeah.
It's just a grocery store.
I didn't realise they were still doing fishy chippies.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. What I can say on the record is that their order system may have its priorities in the wrong order, because for any order of just $5 or more, they offer 15% off.
Right, okay.
And then, if you get to $25, it's only 10% off.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I get the feeling that it's not supposed to be $5 or more, but that's what it was. I haven't checked to see if they've noticed this and fixed it in the meantime, but yes, no, they were all good walks. I only took the bus once, and that was on the first walk because I didn't want to bother with a particular piece of traffic furniture.
Nothing worse than traffic furniture.
Sorry, street furniture.
Okay. That you can't give away because it'll give away your location.
Yeah.
It's that giant pink rabbit that keeps hopping down.
That's the one, yeah.
Main Street. There we go.
Yeah, and then this week I gave another political presentation which went fine.
It went fine, Thomas.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone is well and truly prepared to vote now.
It's just not a lot of information really about people who run for the Legislative Council, especially seeing as I watch some of them on a regular basis. Certainly not for my health.
No.
And media has continued to happen. Some of it has stopped. Some of it still has another couple of weeks. Some of it has months to go. Doctor Who has continued to be Doctor Who.
It has.
I liked the one 2 weeks ago, but this week's one was okay.
It's a bit drossish, I think, is the word that... anyway.
And now I'm just sort of bracing myself for a standard issue Russell T Davies finale.
Yeah.
Over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Surprise! It's that character from way back.
Yeah.
Hooray. Yes. Because we don't want to do Daleks anymore. We've overdone the Daleks, so let's go through the catalogue and...
Yeah.
You? Me? Oh, look, I've gone for some walks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some fairly lengthy walks. And not be eating fish and chips on the way. So in the last 2 weeks, I've actually lost 3 kilos.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm pretty proud of myself there. Tempered by the fact that looking back at my fitness app in the past 8 or so years, the up and down, up and down, up and down, and making these grand plans to, right, when I get to my goal, I will maintain that rigorously. And do you think that happens? No. My body tends to gravitate to a certain level that, for all medical research, is too high. And I would be far happier if it gravitated to a more medically recognised good zone. So it's heading there. And so I'm pretty pleased with myself, but I cannot get complacent, and so I shall continue to walk. And today was quite interesting in that I tried a different route that I haven't done before, which is pretty much going in the opposite direction to one that I discovered fairly recently also. But it involves walking along sections of countryside that are also heavily advertised as being great for mountain bikes.
Right.
And there are occasional points where there is a tension between walkers and said mountain bikes. And it's not made anywhere near easier by having signs at one end of the track contradict signs at the other end of the track.
Yeah.
So you have people saying, well, I wasn't expecting to find a walker along here. And said, well, the signs say, yes, walkers are allowed. And then you look at the other end and it doesn't say walkers are not allowed, but it doesn't have a walking sign on it. So it's a bit confusing. And no entry signs meters away from, you can see beyond that no entry sign, a sign that says walking track. So in that 3 meters, are you meant to jump that 3 meters so that you don't... I don't know. Yeah. So I'm getting myself psyched up to writing a letter to a certain council and saying, your signage is a bit questionable, and shared use and not shared use, and all these big maps making absolutely no mention of directional access for walkers, but then having on individual signs little walking logos, and even signs that say walkers only this way. And yeah.
Well, for some of the tracks up there, you have to make it monodirectional for bikes, otherwise there will be problems.
Yes, absolutely. But they need to make things a little clearer.
Follow-up. They have eliminated the 15% off option.
So hang on, was this online?
Yes, this was online.
Right.
Yeah.
The penny dropped. Or the 5-cent piece dropped. Yes. Other than that, I've got a lumpy arm. My plasma donation bubble is happily bubbling away there. Did that yesterday. We have been absolutely blessed with some wonderful weather down here.
Yeah.
Great for walking. Unfortunately, there are other parts of the country that are not so blessed and are being absolutely pummeled with large amounts of rain. And there's flooding and dairy cows floating off into the ocean. It's a bit disastrous. So our thoughts are with those people in some of the northern states. Anyway, we have a film to watch.
We
that
do.
Our dear listener has just been hanging out for, and we're just delaying.
Yeah.
And causing pain and distress to our dear listener. So we shall get into that. What are we watching this week?
We are watching Fast and Furious.
Haven't we watched that?
No, we've watched The Fast and the Furious.
Right. So presumably this will be a lot shorter than The Fast and the Furious.
I have not actually done the maths there, but I suspect you might be wrong. Okay, so the original was 1 hour and 46 minutes.
Right.
Fast and Furious is 1 hour and 47 minutes.
Oh, what? It's like 20% shorter in name and 1% longer in...
Roughly 1%, yeah.
Yeah. Don't get caught up in the name length percentage. Anyway, please tell our dear listener what Fast and Furious is all about.
Well, first,
Oh
it's
no!
been 5 weeks.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Do we perhaps need some catching up here?
I don't know. Do we? Isn't it just a complete restart and reboot and none of the things that have happened before?
No, there's relevant stuff.
Oh dear. Okay, but I'm going to speed you up.
Subsequently, on Speedy Angry People, high schooler Sean, following a series of street racing incidents, moves to live with his father in Japan. There he meets Twinkie, a second-hand goods seller and fellow American expat. Yes, he will be relevant later, but possibly not in this film. And Han, a former member of Dom Toretto's crew, working with the nephew of a Yakuza boss. Han steals some of his partner's cut. The mob get involved, and a chase sequence ends with Han's death in a T-bone collision. Sean eventually defeats the nephew in a mountain pass drift race, and the nephew is forced out of Tokyo. And then, in the real world, Han was a very popular character, so the next few films takes place sometime earlier, as the producers repeatedly reshape the timeline to keep him around as long as possible. And now, a continuation.
So where are we continuing from?
We are continuing from a little bit after the second film.
Right. That's right, because you went back in... You're okay. All right.
They released a short film before this particular film that I have not seen, and that I'm pretty sure I don't need to see.
Right. Did they do that another time?
Yes,
as well?
for
Right.
the second film.
Okay.
And then never again.
Except for now.
After this,
Oh,
never
right.
again.
We're going to watch it on some streaming service that I can't remember what because it's been so long.
Stan, probably.
Right. we're going to watch it, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So we shall catch you on the no flipping, because we've got air wings on the back of our cars that cause a down pushing that keeps the car firmly on the road, so there is no side B.
Turn to side D.
Dag.
Yeah, no. The producer of this short film is like, no, this is very important to the structural integrity of the timeline. I'm like, I have read this description, and I'm not sure it is.
Roll the tape,
Yeah.
you mongrel. So what did you think?
I mean, I enjoyed it. It's...
You what?
The silliness is increasingly less restrained.
I do wonder whether the pre-credits scene with the fuel theft was designed specifically to get your head into that mindset of, this is just going to be silly.
We are now, properly, for real this time, at the end of Fast and Furious's street racing era. It is all heists from here on out. Everything's going to be fine.
Everything is going to be fine. Yes, the one and only real street race in this was... He was there for reasons that were justified somewhat.
It is another classic round of interfaces no one would actually design.
Are you talking the GPS?
Yes, the GPS, yeah.
Where you're suddenly thrown into a computer game.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's much too unsafe to have actual girls on the starting line.
Well, yes.
Throw them up on screen instead.
Oh dear. And yes, the entire film was a case of us going, oh dear, and laughing, and Daniel pulling his hair out, because I don't think he's quite grasped the fact that this is pulp, absolute pulp.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting increasingly more proud of the fact that... All right, I know, look, they still came in droves last time. Let's up the silliness this time and just keep raising that bar. Raising it so much that even though it is barely possible to crawl under, you can still flip a car nose to back, like in the tunnel, or all through these scenes where they're racing through that tunnel. That ceiling is low, except when a car needs to flip.
Oh, at this point in the tunnel, we just dug it higher.
Yeah.
All sorts of, like, very loose rock. It was basically gravel there. We had to dig it out.
Yeah. And Daniel did ask how on earth did they manage to do this under the noses of the authorities? And I've figured something out, Thomas.
Yeah.
They got school kids, all right, to sort of wander into the desert and sort of scuff dirt around like they do in The Great Escape.
Yeah.
But school kids for a reason, because they needed a whole heap of miners. Good.
For the benefit of our dear listener, I am pinching the bridge of my nose.
Much like Daniel was through the entire film, or slapping his forehead, or raising his hand in a what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and physics. The whole physics thing
Well,
was
yeah.
just so many plot holes that you could drive a truck that has 4 trailers of highly flammable fuel in the back of, with apparently no brake lines going to them, except that they showed the brake lines and then they didn't show the brake lines. And, it's dumb. That film was dumb, but it was still... You had to watch it, and you've got to watch the next one.
Yeah.
I think it's a drug.
Mm-hmm.
But the type of drug that you know that you really, really shouldn't have anything to do with. But then it gets offered to you once every 4 weeks or so. And you just got to. In fact, Daniel, he asked, are you watching a film tonight? And I said, yes. And well, what is it? And he said, well, it's Fast and Furious. And he said, okay, I'm in. Because I'm committed now. How many more are there?
6 and 1 detour.
Right. Oh, that's right, that handbrake turn. That'll bring us up just before Christmas then.
Yeah.
Oh, plus the detour. Sorry, plus one detour.
One detour. I'm planning to
Okay.
slot that in between.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
That detour, that film called The Slow and the Well-Controlled. Thomas, what do you have to say about this film? Justify it.
Well, okay, let's
Gather your notes.
justify it.
No, just
Justify
share
it.
your notes.
I've said the one note that I had, which was the classic round of interfaces no one would actually design. Justify it. Okay, it made 4 times its budget at the box office.
Like I say, if you build it, he will come. They will come. Everyone will go and watch these films. The bubble has to burst sometime. There has to be a law of diminished returns. Or is there? I guess we're going to find out. I don't have anything else to say about that.
Yeah.
So, as far as our dear listener is concerned, you get what you pay for. You read what's on the wrapper, and that's what's inside the wrapper.
Yep. The diminishing returns do not start next film, which makes 5 times its budget back at the box office.
Good. And we have that to look forward to in 4 weeks' time.
Yep.
Unless we have
Further unforeseen circumstances.
Yes. Which we do apologise for, but I think they were justified. I don't need to go into it. But,
No.
Yeah. All right. So you got nothing else?
Nope.
I got nothing else. I think we'll move on.
Yes, let's.
The following segment has no title. Thank you.
My goodness, this is a list.
It is, yeah.
Look at this. Lots of comments. Cool. Let's start over at MySpace. Oh, no? Okay. Sorry,
No.
I won't take your job.
No,
You
sorry.
decide where we start.
We will start over on Discord with a backlog comment from N₂Osferatu.
It's a cool one too.
This comment is on Argo. My wife was tangentially affected. She was writing/copy editing for Geek Dad/Geek Mum at the time, a geeky parenting blog back when that was getting bigger than personal blogs and picked up by real media, which was on Wired. Argo was heavily inspired by a Wired article about the event, and the author of the article worked on the film and was paid by the producers. Wired claimed that because the original article was on their site, any related work was also theirs. It was messy, and I don't know how the legal battle ended, but one result was that Wired came back with a new contract for all writers that basically said, anything you do in your free time is also ours.
Good.
This did not go over well.
I cannot imagine why.
Geek Dad was later acquired by Condé Nast. That's through acquiring Wired.
Oh, okay. Yep.
stopped paying everyone, or even less than the piddly amount they were getting, and as far as I know, has long since shut down. That's not actually correct. Geek Dad and Geek Mum are still puttering along with smaller workloads than they used to have. And
the truth is, it's all written by AI now.
I don't know about that, but the Geek Dad certainly has a lot of comics reviews.
Maybe he should branch out to do Fast and Furious reviews.
And there's also a comment here from N₂Osferatu, but it only contains a guess. So we shall move on down to YouTube, where we find Dunkel.
Hi, Dunkel!
I look forward to the sequel podcast, presumed to be titled Cellulose Free.
Too fastest furious and cellulose is free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would make it a bit like CSI, wouldn't it? Oh, sorry, NCIS.
Mm-hmm.
And JAG and all the, because cellulose free is a spin-off from Still Under Wraps. So
although unlike JAG and NCIS, Still Under Wraps stopped and then Cellulose Free started.
Oh, that's right, there wasn't an overlap, was there?
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine?
There's no opportunity for crossovers.
What a horrible thought.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that we ran out of wrapped films on the shelves that we were willing to sit through. Over on Spotify, we have a comment from Atikip.
Attitude.
Hello. I believe this is my first time commenting. I've been listening for a while, just wanted to say hi out of curiosity and maybe a little bit of excitedness, but I suppose this comment should have a reason. So, random question, what musical artists do you like? To some extent, sort of trying to cut down on random comments here, but for the sake of argument, they might be Giants, Pomplamoose, I don't know how, but they found me. Daft Punk, still a little bit of that rattling around the old head. Just indie stuff, mostly.
And me, well, I'm old.
Yeah.
So I still listen to soundtracks from silent movies. Okay, so I did advance to soundtracks from sound movies as well, but certainly growing up, probably 90% of records, those round black things.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I don't need to explain those again anymore because they're in again.
They're back.
Yeah. Mostly soundtracks to movies, and that really hasn't stopped. And soundtrack adjacent, so a particular music from people who have also done soundtracks. So quite like Mike Oldfield, who's him.
Yeah.
And Alan Parsons Project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who has connections to soundtracks as well. How exciting was that?
And then when you're doing the dishes, you'll just throw on some old popular stuff.
Yeah. 80s, just to throw me back to my high school days and bring back nostalgic memories of school dances and
things that wouldn't be amiss on a Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
That's right, indeed. So thanks for that question, and hopefully if you do contribute again, if you could clarify how you pronounce your name.
Yeah. Which will take us up to, with the inclusion of a Discord comment from E of Pie.
Hi, E of Pie.
And a YouTube comment from M.
Hi, M.
Take us up to the guesses.
And I've got to remind myself what I'd put. Oh.
There are 3 guesses. 2 of them are close and 1 of them is correct. And I am going to read them in the order they were received and not reveal who has gotten it right yet. We will start with N₂Osferatu, who says, "This week is a hard one, but how about Bltnxpl? That's BLTTNXPL. Not at all confident." E of Pi says, "Keeping to my normal habits, my take would be Bltnxpn. And then that's 9 characters. So instead, let's try Bltnxp. That's BLTTRNXP.
Now I'm craving a BLT.
And M.
Give me more BLT.
And M says Bltnxp. That's BLT.
Hey, I got my BLT.
RNEXP. One of these is correct, and the rest are a character off. The winner of this week's arbitrary point is...
Announced after this break.
Cellulose Free is brought to you by Unwrapped DVD Cases.
Unwrapped DVD cases. They're just what you need when you want to get to your DVD without having to unwrap it.
Thank you, Unwrapped DVD Cases, for supporting the show, but not very much because you are flimsy plastic and don't really hold up that much weight.
Welcome back. Who was the winner?
The winner, with BLT T, that's M out.
Sorry, M.
That's N₂Osferatu out.
Oh, sorry.
NXP, it is E of Pi.
Well done, E of Pi. You get an arbitrary point. Huzzah! Hooray!
I am fascinated to see what you've done.
You're going to be
here.
grossly disappointed. Because, yeah, I wasn't... well, I never do. I wasn't thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. That is most of the letters I thought would be in there.
To give you a hint, though, there is no BLT in it. There is a T, though.
You will need all 3 words to some extent.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Good luck. Please put your guesses in the usual places that are mentioned in the show notes and the closing credits.
Or where you are listening to it.
Yeah. Cool.
Or film suggestions.
Yep.
Comments on our comments.
Comments on this episode.
Yes. Yes.
Or in the case of this week, certainly if you've just listened to another episode that sparks your fancy commenting about, please do so. I think we'll move on.
Yes.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
It is, as the premise of the show dictates, your turn.
It is my turn. And this film is on Disney Plus, at least in Australia. I don't believe it was a Disney film.
Yeah, it being on Disney Plus doesn't really narrow things down these days, does it?
No. It is a film I have not watched, and I'm just going to read the plot synopsis and see if you can buzz in before I get to the actual name.
Great. Reads it immediately.
A slick New York publicist who picks up a ringing receiver is told that if he hangs up, he'll be killed. And the little red light from a laser rifle sight is proof that the caller isn't kidding.
How exactly have they worded this title? Because I know exactly what film you are referring to, but could I tell you what they are using to refer to a phone booth?
Okay, if you lop off the A...
Is it phone booth?
It is indeed phone booth. The 2003 mystery thriller crime film, according to Just Watch, which quite often gets genres all confused as well as production companies.
Yeah.
But it is a Joel Schumacher film.
The thing it is best at is telling you where a film is.
Indeed.
And even sometimes then, it might get confused with
the other great
titles.
thing about it is that it does have a tap link. You can just tap to the IMDb. So I find that very handy. All right, so next week we're going to be watching Phone Booth. We hope, all of us hope, we have a great deal of hope that you can join us. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
What was all that about? Oh dear. Right. I'm going to...
Because they crash and explode. It is very simple. Don't think too hard about it.
Oh, that's speaking of don't think too hard about it. I forgot completely about the dirt. Vehicles that are not off-road vehicles, but are driving in really thick, dry, dusty dirt and managing to maintain speed without just getting bogged. Anyway, I'm stopping now.